Sometimes when you're fact-checking, you just got to go to the source. Hi, thanks for watching. Today is Friday, Fact Check Friday, and I am going to fact-check a story today that you probably will be shocked by. I'm pretty sure you'll be shocked by this. It is a story that I did not ever want to cover or to fact check, but it's come up so much, so often, that I really have no other choice than to talk about it. And what I'm talking about is the good people on both sides narrative. The story that Trump supposedly called neo-Nazis and white nationalists fine people. We've heard this all the time. I live here in Portland, and it's fair to say that most people do not care for Trump. And if I talk to anybody about that, they'll say he's a racist, right? And I say, well, why do you think he's a racist? And they say, well, he said that neo-Nazis were fine people. And that's the number one claim. That's the number one piece of evidence that people have about this. And, I'd always be like, well, I don't think that's what he meant, But I think he was clumsy in what he said, but, how can we really know? We can't read minds. But I was watching a Periscope from Scott Adams of Dilbert about a month ago or so, and he brought this up, and I decided to go back and actually watch the speech, the press conference, and watch the entire thing. And I was really shocked by how different it was than the way it was presented in the media. You see, I have seen people reference this quote probably every week since it happened. All the time. Politicians, talking heads on the cable news, so many people have referenced this fine people on both sides quote. And I'm going to play the clip for you here. He says the clip that we all know, and then they stop it. And he says some other stuff, and I just speed through that and get to the conclusion. And I just like to play it and just watch for yourself. Here we go.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. You had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
There you see. He makes it very clear. And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists. I don't think he could be any more clear than that. He says, I am not talking about these people. They should be condemned. It was very clear. The fact that that part of his answer is never shown in the news, is never shown on cable, is never a talking point. It's always cut off right after the fine people on both sides. That's the end of the clip. And that's really disingenuous. Anybody that works in the news has seen this entire thing. They know the truth, and they have chosen to edit it, to just give you a little tiny piece so that they can change the narrative, use this as evidence that he's a white supremacist, a neo-Nazi, he's a racist. And I think that it's really, really wrong. I think it's really wrong that they have done that. Now, I understand this is going to blow a lot of people's minds. You could think, how could this be true? This doesn't make any sense. I still know what he really means. No. What he said is, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists. So you can still hate Trump. You can still think he's a racist. You can still think he's a terrible human being. You're entitled to that. But no longer can you use this quote as evidence of it, because it's just not true. If there's anything that you would like me to fact check, if there's a story you'd like me to fact check, because I'd like to fact check something different, let me know in the comments. Have a great weekend. Peace. Help me reach my goal of 1 million. Make that 4,000 subscribers by hitting the like button and subscribing.